Today is Wednesday, October the 9th, and I don't have the advancers to decliners provided by TD Ameritrade for the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ. I'm sorry for this flashing. I don't know what's going on here. But anyway, suffice it to say that the market is in decline after hours. Now let's look at FinViz, where we saw that we ended the day on a bit of a down note. Really didn't do much all day long. Volume, not very good. A lot of red. Let's refresh that because we've been fooled by it before. There we go, a lot of green. Advancers to decliners by about 2 to 1. So that is going to take our stock market breadth back up a little bit. So we're churning in between neutral and oversold. Market can't make up its mind. There's still more room to go on the oversold side. So let's look now at the charts and the clouds. We can see that the action today did actually pierce the gap that was created Tuesday morning. Did pierce the gap, but it stopped exactly on the 8 EMA and pulled back to below the gap. So the gap has been resistance for the close, and the 8 EMA was resistance for the high of the day. The Chiku span ended up over the 50. At one point today, certainly down here, it was getting support on the candle. So we talked about that yesterday, and the Chiku span is providing support on the candle. So I don't know if we put an arrow on yesterday's chart, but let's do it again today. And we're getting support right there. So let's see, there's an opportunity tomorrow for the Chiku span to sneak in between to this candle gap. So let's mark that. Let's take our gap tool in Motive Wave, and let's just mark this gap. We haven't done this before, but let's see how the Chiku span responds to gaps itself. There's a possibility that we could sneak through here and end up below the candles. There's a gap here, there's another gap here. So once we settle this gap, we'll move this Chiku span timed gap up here, and we'll follow that tomorrow. Apple, where are we going? I don't think the news from the China discussions was all that good. China's not going to give us the two main things we want, which is not incentivizing their companies by underpinning them with national money, like as if we don't do that. We do it all the time, and we're accusing the Chinese of doing it. You can't build a plant in this country without getting a tax break or some sort of a cash incentive from the state that you're willing to build in. That's not unlike what the Chinese are doing. And then the other thing they won't discuss is intellectual property. So they may decide to buy hundreds of thousands of tons of American grain products that may make the farmers happy. Isn't that all that Trump is looking for right now? I think this is resistance, and I think we go down tomorrow. I still think the 200 is the big attraction. So I'm going to take this prediction, and I'm going to say today that I'm calling for support tomorrow on the cloud, possibly even lower, but the 200 is where I think we're heading. Apple was only up 40 cents, finished at the top of the middle, top range of the middle. So not a tremendous day. Let's just look at the volume. Very, very low. So you can't read anything into Apple's strength or weakness today. The market was up 0.9. Apple was up 0.3. Caterpillar was up 0.9 roughly. Same as the market, $1.03. And we came and made direct contact with the cloud, and bingo, stopped at the cloud. If we can continue, if the market's up tomorrow, Caterpillar will be up tomorrow, and the next stop will be the 8 EMA. But this can be equally resistance, and I'm going to mark it here, and this can be support. So the cloud can be both tomorrow. So let's just see what happens. Gold down 17 cents, still in an upward direction on what you would call this bear flag, but it's starting to look less like a bear flag as it continues to break away from the direction that it should be taking, which is a bear flag would tend to break in the direction of the flag. But that's not happening. It's a good hedge to have. Now, AT&T, remember I had the 37 short calls that expired next week? I didn't think that anybody would buy out the premium that I had remaining with 9 or 10 days left, but somebody did. They took my 50-cent dividend, gave me my $37, and let me keep the premium. So based on the action that I see with AT&T, while the market has been, what's the market done since September the 26th? Let's take a look. Since September the 26th, the market has been basically in a decline mode since September the 26th, but AT&T, with its 5.5% dividend, has been in a stable or flat area. So we've got this kind of thing happening here with AT&T. So while the market is declining, AT&T is maintaining. Let's look at the volume. Volume has been below average, so no anxious sellers, no anxious buyers, but it still is a 5.5% dividend, and we're getting closer to the cloud. And the closer we get to the cloud, the closer the cloud comes up to meet this channel. So coincidence with the cloud might happen here or here if it continues in this channel. I think I would like to be a buyer of AT&T tomorrow, and since I didn't get my 50-cent dividend, I'm going to sell next week's 37 calls for 50 cents, and that's how I'm going to get my dividend back. It's not a dividend, but it's worth the same amount. My wife's not going to be happy about that. Whirlpool. That's an inverse. That is a hammer. Hammer could signal a reversal. Yesterday I said we could go up, we could go down. Well, we went up, but we had a hammer. This could result in downward. So I'm going to think tomorrow we could go down. Let's see. Amazon got its bounce off the cloud. I said it would move sideways and upwards, sort of following the shape of the cloud. That's what's happening. How about the Chiku span? The Chiku span got support on the 50 EMA. Google, down $4, said it would move up. It's still moving up. I think it may follow the outline of the cloud as well. Yesterday we said look for support here on this candle, and look what happened. Today's low was here. It never really did come down to test the top of this candle. That actually happened, let's see. Anyways, let's move on. There's not a lot happening there. So where are we? Keeping this under 10 minutes. I think we're moving down tomorrow. The McClellan oscillator tells us that we're still in unknown territory.